Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the top 10 worst films of 2015. I am your host, LC Muscles, and today it is time to talk about these films that have angered me beyond personal belief. But before I get into my honorable mentions and my list, I have two things I would like to say first. I have a most disappointing and a most overrated film. My most disappointing film, I'm going to start off with this first. It is a film that I was really looking forward to. It was the last film of a certain actor for the series. And when I saw the trailer, I was amazed. This one, when it came out, I was severely disappointed. My most disappointing film of 2015 is Spectre. This did not feel like a Bond movie. It just felt like a normal action movie with Bond in it. My most overrated film is Oscar bait, and it definitely deserves it. Nothing in this, there's only a few nominations this should get, but you know what? My most overrated film of this year is The Danish Girl. I'm sorry, this film is boring. The acting is terrible, especially Eddie Redmayne overacts way too much in this movie, especially when he's trying to transport the movie. He's like, Now let's get in my worst list. I have 10 honorable mentions to mention off before. My dishonorable mentions are in order are Hot Tub Time Machine 2, Mordecai, The Wedding Ringer, 50 Shades of Grey, Knock Knock, Taken 3, The Boy Next Door, Jupiter Ascending, San Andreas, and the film many people thought would be my worst list, but isn't, Hot Pursuit. So let's get this list started, shall we?
Number 10.
Number 10. If you saw this review on me and Austin's channel, you know what it is. It is definitely the worst superhero movie I've ever seen. Fan 4 Stick. God damn, this movie was terrible. The action was terrible. I don't really want to say too much, but you gotta check out that review, but my god. Chrome Mummy. It is some of the worst dialogue, and some of the shots in the trailer aren't even in the final cut of the movie. Seriously, Fantastic Four.
Number 9.
Number 9. And this is also... God damn it. Number 9 is definitely a film I saw, and my god, I absolutely hate this movie within 6 minutes. This is definitely not how you do a horror movie. Number 9 is The Visit. I'm sorry, but this movie is stupid! It is so dumb, especially the 6-minute mark when the kids are going, yeah. He starts rapping! That was the worst part of the movie! The Visit is dumb, it's predictable, I knew the spoiler 2 minutes in. It is stupid, it is dumb, it's way too predictable, and yeah. It deserves me on worst list. That's my number 9.
Number 8.
Number 8. I could not have been worse on a recommendation in my film my entire life. This is probably the worst recommendation I've given to people. I took me and Austin saw this film, and my god, we hated it. His reaction after the film was the best I've seen all year. Number 8 is The Loft.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, is this bad? Literally, this film is so predictable. It's not even funny. It tries to be a thriller, and it's predictable. The only thing is, some of the girls are hot, but you know what? You know everything is coming. You know who did it. You know everything that happens in the movie before it even happens. The cinematography is horrible. The acting is horrible. Everything in this movie is just god dang awful. The Loft. Please, just off.
Number 7.
Number 7. My god, if it wasn't for one other film I saw this year, it'd be one of the worst animated films of the decade. Predictable, stupid, and it tries to rip off mainstream songs in the worst way possible. Once you get to do Vincent Van Gogh on your ears. Number 7 is Strange Magic. The animation in this movie is beyond awful. The characters are stupid. The plot is cookie cutter plot. You know everything about this movie before you even see it. This is
by George Lucas, by the way.
Yep, it is a George Lucas arts film. Strange Magic is an absolute disgrace to animated films. If it wasn't for one of them, if you want one other animated film that I do not want to talk about right now, it'd be my worst animated film of the decade. That is why The Strange Magic is my number 7.
Number 6.
Number 6 is a string of films that I really don't understand why these are in the films. The next 5 of the next 6 films are comedies. This is why comedies are so bad! You know what? Jupiter Ascending was a funnier comedy than this movie. Number 6 is Vacation. If I could go back to the past and become younger, I would go to the kid in this movie and kick the living crap out of him.
Oh, I'm saying that.
Seriously, that little kid is a horrible son of Satan. And one of the worst things in the movie is Ed Helms. I'm sorry, I lost respect for you, Ed Helms. You've been in great movies. But since The Hangover, you haven't been in anything good. Vacation.
Number 5.
Number 5 If you're a classic video game fan, you are gonna hate this movie. This film, literally, it comes up, pulls out his pants, and takes a crap on all the classic games you love. Number 5 is Pixels. Pixels is just an absolute disgrace to animation, disgrace to video games. Because, and there's also a new character I created just for this movie. Olaf the creepy pervert. Because the same actor who played Olaf plays a creepy ass pervert in this movie. Peter Dinklage was horrible in this movie. He literally is a trope character. And this movie's full of Adam Sandler tropes up the butt. Literally, every Adam Sandler trope you can think of is in this movie. Number 5, that's why it's my number 5.
Number 4.
Number 4, the most unnecessary sequel of the year. This is another comedy! 3 comedies in a row! And my god, this is one. If it wasn't for my number 1, this would be the worst comedy of the year. Number 4 is Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Oh, this is such a bad film. Kevin James, okay, just hear me out for a second. What made you want to do this movie? You know the first one was bad, why'd you do the second one? To fight a crane? Seriously, this is one of the dumbest movies of the year. And the last scene in the movie, my god, last scene in the movie. A CGI horse kicks Kevin James, boom, right onto a car, and that's the end of the movie. Whew.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Number 3, if it wasn't for one comedy, this would be my worst comedy year. I saw this early on. I've told you guys how bad it is. Watch me and Austin's review of this, but you know what? Number 3 is Unfinished Business. How do you waste 3 actors with incredible talent? Vince Vaughn has done some good movies before. Tom Wilkinson was great in Selma as President Lyndon B. Johnson. And Dave Franco was a good supporting cast member in Neighbors. One more character I forgot about. You waste Nick Ross in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
As the glory hole scene is one of the worst scenes I've seen all year. It is so bad. I literally cringed. Unfinished Business is my number 3 worst.
Number 2.
Number 2 is a movie that has a record on me. It bored me within 5 minutes of watching it. Number 2 is United Passions, the FIFA biopic. This opened in 1,100 theaters in the United States. This made $963. And how is the film? Oh, I didn't even tell you guys about that. It is one of the worst scenes in all of this year. The boardroom scene. This scene is beyond boring. There is nothing on. And when there's something, they try to do something, it's overacting up the butt. I literally couldn't stand anything in this movie. And another thing I have to say about this movie. Tim Roth. Thank you, Alex Meyer, for pointing this out to me, but Tim Roth did this only for the money, and only for the money. He didn't care, he didn't give any damn about this movie. This was just an absolute turd of a film. It's disgusting, terrible, stupid, and most of all, boring. United Passion, my number 2.
It's number 1.
Number 1 is a film, by the way. It's a comedy, and this film is beyond disgraceful. It does a disservice to every actor involved in this movie, and this production of a movie is beyond disgraceful. My number 1 worst film of the year is Rock the Casbah. What the fuck were you thinking, Bill Murray? What were you thinking? This was a horrible decision by you, dude. And me and Jerome, when we were reviewing our predictions for the fall movie season, we were actually looking forward to this. You know what movie I thought was gonna be my worst? Gem and the fucking Holograms. And guess what? It was better than this movie. The acting in this movie is the fucking worst acting I've seen all year. No one in this movie fucking cares! Danny McBride was in this movie. God, he was the worst part! God, this film is a complete disgrace, just like the 49ers right now. That's why I wore the 49ers here, because it is a disgrace just like Rock the Casbah. My God. It is one of the worst comedies I've ever seen. It's worse than Starving Games. It's worse than a lot of things. My God. Rock the Casbah. Seriously. Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. You're the worst, one of the worst movies of the decade. My God. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I feel much better now. This was just a bad year. It was bipolar year for films. And some absolute shit. I've given out 12 zeros this year. Thank goodness my best list is coming right up very soon. And let me know what your guys' worst movies are in the list. So, until my best list, stay there and stay awesome, and fuck Rock the Casbah.
Rock this house until we knock it down. So turn the volume loud, 'cause it's been to the